So the other day, I saw this ad in my Facebook feed, and I definitely think this needs to be addressed. First of all, full disclosure, I am a professional medium. This is what I do for a living. But this video is not about, oh no, they're using AI and I'm going to lose so much money. No, it's not about that. But using AI in this manner to connect spiritually is dangerous. Let me explain. I am not talking about, oh, like demons are going to come through your computer. No, 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 no. This is dangerous for your mental health. So let's start here. In AI, there is a phenomenon called the mirror effect. There was a great short paper written by Rico Graupner called The Mirror Effect in AI Systems: How Large Language Models Reflect Rather Than Generate Knowledge. But he defines the mirror effect as this: the tendency of AI systems to reflect user expectations and linguistic patterns rather than generate autonomous content. It tells you what it thinks you want to hear. Why is this a problem? We as humans like to mystify things. We like to think there is a deeper, grander meaning in all of these things. Think of the Wizard of Oz. When Dorothy comes in with her old gaggle and there's, the floating head and the fire, and it's very, very dramatic. And none of them even think to question because it seems so amazing and powerful. And it's not until later that we see the wizard, the man behind the curtain pulling the levers. With AI, we don't get to the man behind the curtain level. And the reason why that is we don't have access to what data sets were being used to train AI, or the calculations that go into the algorithm that causes AI to respond the way that it does. So we never get that Dorothy moment. And even if we did have access to all of that information, there's a high likelihood that most people won't understand what they're looking at. So, what we end up having are people who are already predisposed to believe there is greater meaning in the things that they are experiencing without the critical thinking to, like, hey, this doesn't sound quite right. So we already have this group of people who don't see why this kind of connection would be bad, and they are convinced that yes, this is a great spiritual tool, which leads us to the secondary problem that comes after this. If you don't hang out a lot in spiritual spaces, you might not be aware of this, but people who are undergoing active grief or just can't seem to get over a loss can become quite literally obsessed with getting medium readings. And I have had to push a few of my clients away and then, like, gently encourage them to go to therapy. I even had a client that said, I wasn't sure to spend money on you or therapy. And my response was therapy, 100% every time. Shouldn't be a question. I've even had clients that would go see a new medium every couple of days. So no medium knew that they were having sessions that often, until a spirit would come in and be like, hey, she's going to a lot of mediums and she's not healing. We need to shut this down. Imagine those same people who are at least somewhat limited by their time and money, how often they can do these medium sessions. And now you're telling them, hey, you can use a free tool that's readily available to make those connections, except now there is no oversight. They can connect as often as they want, as long as they want, except again, they're not actually connecting because of the mirror effect. AI is kind of reflecting back what it is that they want, what it is that they feel like they need. So that obsessive behavior then can become something bigger and scarier and more dangerous. It can cause people to spiral without any of those kind of checks And again, since they don't have access to those data sets, and even if they did, a lot of them would not understand what it is that they're looking at. This is a recipe for disaster. I am a human. I am a human who has lost people, like most humans. And being a medium and being able to have those connections does not preclude me from feeling loss. I understand how incredibly tempting it can be to see these kind of programs, these kind of ideas. What if I could easily connect with the person that I am missing? I would be a monster not to understand that temptation. But it is bad for you. It's very bad for you. I don't care if you never go see a medium, you never engage with spirituality at all. I don't even care if you don't believe in any of this. But please, don't try to bring AI into spiritual spaces. There is nothing it could do but harm.